SportsTech Weekly, all the top news from the world of sports and technology, number 67 this week. Before I begin, if you have checked out our previous episodes and maybe if you enjoy this one, we would really appreciate it if you could share it with somebody else that you think might enjoy it, or drop a comment or like. It would help support the channel. All right, let's jump into the news. We always start with funding news. Not much by the way of funding this week. The only deal to cover is a $30 million investment in the company's PMY Group by Bluestone Equity Partners. PMY Group is a Melbourne-based company that helps build stadium infrastructure, that provides infrastructure and tech solutions for large stadiums. And when I say large stadiums, we're talking about top tier. So they are over $1 billion in technology solutions delivered to over 1,000 venues, including 29 of the 30 NFL teams, 28 of 30 MLB teams, and most of the MLS. Right? Yeah, good job, PMY, who will apparently also relocate to the US. Not so good news for Fox, who have decided to shut down from FoxBet. That was in partnership. Sorry, Reuters have to continue without supporting you. They have decided to shut down their partnership with Flutter. FoxBet. Now, there haven't been too many failure stories in the early days of the US betting market explosion after the legislation legalized. This is a big one. And it's a signal that there are not only winners. Flutter is not so concerned. They say that FoxBet has contributed less than 3% of its $3.3 billion revenue from the US betting market. So they're like, yeah, just a drop in the ocean. So they're not so concerned. I think this will send some ripples to the general market. It also strengthen the position of incumbents and early movers like DraftKings and FanDuel, who of course are owned by Flutter. But let's see how this plays out. Better news comes from another sports tech fund. This is the fourth week in a row that we've had news about a new fund in sports tech or an existing fund launching their second or third iteration. This time it's Cartan Capital, launched by CiCi Bellis, who is a former pro athlete. She is a former world number 35 on the WTA tour. CiCi has also been working in the sports tech space that she was with lead at their sports and health tech accelerator program in Lake Nona in Orlando. That's the website, Carton Capital, Carton-Capital, and this is a little more about CiCi. So another pro athlete lending their name to the sports tech space. Can't wait to have, maybe we'll get the chance to have CiCi on our show, on our podcast sometime soon. All right, moving on, keeping the theme of women's sports and women's sports tech. From a female founder for a sports tech fund, Google, to women's sports. Google is helping women's sports find more eyeballs or find more attention. They're going to make it easier to find results related to women's sports for all queries on Google search, especially for gender neutral ones. So for example, if you search for the top goal scorer in world football, it will not just show you a page listing Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi and Ali Daei and all the other big names in the space. We have actually been focusing on sports tech for women's sports this whole month, well, last month of August. If you have of July, if you haven't checked out any of that content, I would recommend that you do. We had some really good guests, including Monarch Collective, the first fund focused on women's sports. Also, there was an article covering this topic, actually, by our head of business development, Kimberly Fernandez, who wrote a piece on how technology is evolving to help women's sports, but there are still issues, such as her searching on Google for results about footballers and only getting results for men's football, things like that. And that's what needs to change. And Google is making a stance on this. So how will they do this? Basically, if you provide a gender neutral search, there will be some sort of toggle switch, which allows you to toggle between men's and women's results, or they'll show it on the same page. That is to be seen. They're also definitely showing results from more women's tournaments, whether it's the UEFA Women's Champions League, the WNBA, the Women's Premier League in India, or the Liga MX Femenil in Mexico. It's a nice article that Google has written on the topic. Go check it out. But basically, you will find more results related to women's sports next time you search on Google. Right, and our top story of the week is actually coming from could Apple be interested in investing in ESPN? It could be Apple, it could be Amazon. Who will it be? Basically, Disney has made it public. Well, I don't know if it's officially made it public, but there has been a lot of talk that Disney will invite a tech partner that they think will help strengthen the reach of ESPN. Disney ESPN is very important strategically to Disney. Let's make that clear. This is not a sale. Bob Iger has made previous comments to say that ESPN is what differentiates Disney. So it's a big part of their offering, but they want more support. They want to create a direct to consumer streaming offering, and they believe they need a tech partner. It might be Apple. There was an article written recently about the potential for Apple to come in for about a 5 to 10% stake for something around 4 or 5 billion. But actually, Front Office Sports, and this is the article that I wanted to highlight. This is the other one, which is Apple rumored to be a potential ESPN strategic partner. But Front Office Sports has drawn up a list of candidates that could be interested, going beyond the tech giants, and who, by the way, it does make sense for the likes of Apple, Amazon, and Google through YouTube, who have been investing in live sports broadcasting. So this is not out of the blue, right? It's a continuation of their investment. But who else could be interested in a property like ESPN? Well, maybe it's a betting company like DraftKings or FanDuel. Maybe it's Fanatics as they chase down their $100 billion company dream that Michael Rubin has set out for them. Fanatics has been doing all sorts of things. And they have also, by the way, aligned with broadcasters like Sky, like DAZN more recently. So again, not out of the blue for Fanatics to maybe bring in a broadcaster in-house. Does that affect their ability to partner with other broadcasters where they provide the facility to bring commerce into the broadcast? So while you're watching whatever sport, press the red button and buy the jersey of the team that you're watching, stuff like that, to more integrated commerce. So Fanatics might want to do it with multiple partners, or they might want a really deep integrated solution with somebody like ESPN. Who knows? Only time will tell. But that is all the news this week. Once again, if you've enjoyed the episode, please do share it on your channels, like, comment, let us know what you think, let us know your thoughts on any of the stories covered. And we will see you next week right here for more news. See you then. Ciao.